I know, everyone is playing with comets right now, including your neighbor, his dog and the lady from the corner shop, but I decided to give it a go myself to see how it feels, and while I don't love it personally and I prefer my other custom crit elemental weakness setup with Spark as a trigger and Arc in custom alignments, this is definitely one of the more powerful variants of this build. One thing I have to say is if you want to get more comets, use manual cast on elemental weakness instead of cast on crit setup, as cock elemental weakness can get a bit stuck, as you will see later on the bridge boss. But because I hate my computer and I hate my FPS, but I love when everything dies off the screen and everything is covered with shit, this is what I did. You can see I kinda messed up Uber Arbiter fight and it's not the cleanest kill. I did one thing different for this fight, and I moved Comet to custom crit and elemental weakness with all the supports into custom alignments, just for this one fight, which reasons I will explain a bit later in the video. Here is a quick Xest kill, which shows exactly what I said before, custom crit elemental weakness being stuck in a loop. Next is map overrun by 18 abyssal pits, with increasing difficulty for each pit closed. After that I will show you my support gems, talent tree and my gear. By the way, quick note, sorry for the quality, next time I'm gonna try to record with a bit better quality and higher bitrate. And enjoy! Okay, now let's go and explain everything.
In my support gems, we're using, for life remanence, we're using Harmonic Remanence 2, Remanence Potency 1, Catalyst Rejuvenation. In Sigil of Power, obviously, Magnified Area. This is only weapon swap, it helps, but it's not the most important part. In Spark, we're using Mobility, considering Casting, Pierce 3, Valenta's Propulsion, and Ataul's Bloodletting. Custom Crit, its Elemental Weakness, its Doedre's Undoing, Ritualistic Cures, Spell Cascade, and Life Tap. Cast on Elemental Alignments, we're using Comet, we're using Spell Cascade, Zenith 2, Efficiency 2, and Life Tap. Mana Remanence again, Harmonic Remanence 2, Remanence Potency 1, Blasphemy, Temporal Chains, Ritualistic Cures, Magnified Area 2, and I'm using Diala's Desire because I've got this gem, I don't have much other things to put. It's 10% quality, which reduces reservation efficiency, which is making my Blasphemy cost only 40 spirit. And Orb of Storm is, again, optional but useful. I'm using Overabundance 1, Magnified Area 2, Prolonged Duration 2, Efficiency 2, and again, Life Tap. One thing I would like to add, during fights like Arbiter, where it's a bit harder to get comets being casted by elemental alignments, as you've probably seen on Bridge Boss and the Arbiter fight, I actually swapped them around. On Bridge Boss, I actually used setup as it is right now, but for Arbiter, I actually swapped them around because I found it's just much easier to get more comets raining. Also, one thing I'm still unsure, 100% sure about it, I'm not convinced if comets from Spell Cascade are actually overlapping. So for single target fights, I'm just swapping Spell Cascade for Consider Casting for much bigger DPS on the comet. As for my talent tree, because I was able to get Vertex with 20 Spirit on it, I was actually able to unspec from Profane Commander. Also, I've changed a few things around. Right now, I'm using Crimson Power because I desperately needed life. I'm on 1700 life, so that's basically what I'm doing right now. I unspec from Sanguine Tides, which is still a great talent. If you can have enough, if you got enough HP, I recommend taking it because it boosts your DPS by quite a lot. But yeah, this is my ascendancy points, and for a talent tree it's basically still all the same that it was before. I'm using Heart of Well Diamond, which isn't the best. Up here we're using Controlled Metamorphosis, so we can get Mind Over Matter, we can get Storm Charge, we can get Overzealous, and also Shredding Force, which is quite useful. Up here we get in +1 to cold, extra elemental damage for cold. Obviously we use Eldritch Battery. Up here I actually managed to upgrade my Timeless Sapphire for a bit better one, suiting this build. We're grabbing all those points around because they get in us more stuff. We also using, where do I have it? Oh yeah, there it is. From Nothing Diamond with passives in radius of conduit can be allocated without them being connected, which is quite nice because this is a really good place. We can get 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, technically you can get more, but I'm using those 4 keystones to get effects from my Timeless Sapphire. Also, I went for increased cost efficiency because again my life is really low right now, so that's what we're using. And beside that, it's a bunch of critical damage, critical chance, and tiny bit of like help with meta skills. Meta skills gain 25% increased energy if you dealt critical hit recently, which I'm doing all the time. Also, one more thing I've changed is I'm no longer using those boots that give you instant crit activation. Instead, I actually using I went to those notes on the tree, which gives you total 70% cures activation. Cures activate 75% faster with those 4 nodes. And also we're using 2 jewels, one with 14% faster cures activation, another with 15, which adds up to 99% faster cures activations. This is necessary unless you want to use Windscream Feathered Sandals, which is the other way to make cures activate basically instantly. As for my gear, I've actually done a few changes. Right now I'm using this stuff, which isn't the perfect one, because as you notice, it increases spell damage with spells that costs life. Unfortunately, the Doedre's Undoing isn't being counted as costing life, since technically it's a mental weakness that costs life, not this. This is only effect that activates, that's basically being activated alongside the mental weakness. So my spell damage isn't increasing damage of that, so that's something I'm gonna have to replace. But yeah, this is the stuff I'm using right now. This is my tribal mask that I made myself, 20 spirit, yay gamba. Amulet is pretty much the same. Body armor pretty much the same. Only thing I was able to get rid of those 2% quality of all gems because I desperately needed resistances. Still using Headhunter, still using molded meats. Atsiri Acuity molded meats with Tekrod's Gaze. I hope I'm pronouncing it the right way. Only thing of note that changed in my gear, I'm now using this Seed of Corruption Lazuri ring, which is absolutely disgusting and ridiculous. I also made it myself. It's not perfect. It could roll a bit better critical damage bonus, and I think I'll maybe get the 30% increase damage on it. But I'm really happy with it, and because it's a really good ring, I decided to use Calandra's Touch and basically mirror it, which kind of fucked up my resistances that I had to like desperately fix. Thankfully, I'm capped on everything and almost capped on Chaos right now, and I had to fix them by basically getting this very specific Sakama sandals with that are twice corrupted with fire resistance. If you're lucky, you can get I think you can get double resistance enchant on them by corruption. Again, I'm using single jewel ones for simple reason that those were already 580 divines, and I'm poor as fuck right now, so yeah, that's what we're using. I think that's pretty much it for our gear. We're still using the same flasks. I'm not 100% sure if I'm not gonna change this flask, because this 56 mana every 2 seconds is not a lot. So I might go back to using regular one, but we will see about that. And charms are basically personal choice, what you need, same for the flask.